Got it. Okay, greatly appreciated feedback. No problem. It's my privilege. Sam, I'll start by posting the thumbnails. Detail. Let's look at thumbnails. Yes, thumbnails. Right here. Yeah, these are better, much better. Look good. Look good. And as I said, you'll hear me saying this a lot. Sketching is not to show hiring professionals that you can draw. It's to show hiring professionals that you can think. And that's why we love sketching, is because it shows us that the designer is, as opposed to coming in with just the work. Like if you just come in with the work, just the package design, you know, any experienced designer is going to go, well, where's the thought process behind it? I mean, it didn't just happen. Show us the thought process. And we love to see the thought process. Keep that in mind. Designing, designers, hiring professionals, portfolio reviewers love to see process, love to see sketches, love to see ideas. So this is better, yes. Okay, so let's move back to where we, as far as my brand goes, I need to rebrand myself entirely. Okay, now let me talk about branding, okay? Um, I, I can make suggestions and you can redesign your brand if you'd like. If what I say makes sense, then by all means. If what I'm saying doesn't make sense, then stay with your brand. Okay, I can't make decisions for you. I mean, I can tell you what my experience over the past 20 years, what I've seen work consistently time and time again, and what I've seen not work consistently time and time again. And I will share that information with you in in search of your, I want to get you a job. And that's the bottom line. So why do I make comments about your branding when you just finished the class and it was fine 3 weeks ago? Let me explain why, because this is really important. The reason why is because I'm not looking at your individual pieces. I'm not looking at this as a business card, okay? Or I'm not looking at this as an envelope. And I'm not looking at this as an ad. I'm looking at this whole thing here as a representation of your body of work, which means that we need to present it in a harmonious and consistent way. There are things that I see that I think could work better, which I will comment on. As I said, if those comments make sense to you, by all means, I'll help you make the changes. I'll walk you through the changes, whatever the situation is. If you elect based on my comments, if my comments don't make sense, or if you don't think they hold warrant, by all means, make your decision. It's your portfolio in the end, okay? Branding. Let's take a look at this, and let me tell you why I'm making the comments I'm making about your branding. Okay, let me do this first of all. Okay, let's zoom in, take a look at your card. Okay, the mark itself, as I said, the mark it's very neat. It is. It's cool. I think it's kind of cool because it kind of goes like this, and then it goes like this, and then that kind of loops, and it's like almost like this only touched the pen only touched the page once right there, and then never left the page again. That's really cool. But as a monogram, basically a representation of your initials, which is a representation of you as a designer, I don't think this is strong. And the reason I don't think this is strong is because it's not memorable. That's the only thing. It's neat. It's somebody's going to look at it and go, oh, wait, that looks kind of like, oh, yeah, that is initials. That's SLM. That's cool. Awesome. Okay. So, but where do we go from there? Do you see what I'm saying? Is it memorable? And I got to say, I don't think it is. All right. So what else do we have? I can see if I zoom in really close here, you've got this thick stroke here, and then you've got this tiny little type in relationship that just barely, it can't stand up to this. It just can't. Nobody's going to look here with the weight of this and size of this mark. You want them to look at Samantha Lynn. You want them, okay? Now, so I think the type is a little slight to hold up to that. Now, the type that if you're going to include your word mark with the mark itself, please make sure that it can stand up. This is just good. The word creative, you can't even see it. Another inconsistency, you have Samantha Lynn Murphy, graphic designer, but then over here you have Samantha Lynn creative. So big inconsistency there. It's not saying the same thing to the viewer. Okay, over here you got left aligned. Your name's left aligned. However, your contact stuff is right aligned. So that inconsistency right there is causing really strange spatial relationships here and here. Okay. The actual, the way that you have your contact information itself, I highly, highly recommend do not do this. I highly recommend you type out your words traditionally. Okay. You don't need to share all of this with, you don't, do you need to share all of the social media? Social media is fine, but it's not your main avenue of communication, nor should it be. So you should really get a number on here, a telephone number and a website. You got your Gmail. Do you have a website? We'll get that on there. But mainly, I'd like you to redesign this. I think that. Well, let me show you some. Let me show you. Here's some monograms. Let me see how I can do this. Okay, so if we look at monograms, we can see that they can be really memorable. Like this is memorable, ABC, ABC in the circle. My designer's logo is it's a Gill Sans lowercase m in a perfect circle. That's it. I've been using it for a lot of years, and it's well, it's memorable. I'm pretty sure it is because I get a lot of phone calls. So, but that's, I guess that's the point I'm trying to make is that it's just really needs to be a simple monogram in order to command the type of memorable attributes that we need. Okay. I want to do something really quick. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and take a look at this. I wouldn't use black on the back of my card, and I wouldn't use that black stripe. But that black stripe is all that's doing basically is reducing the size of the card, and it's kind of the intangible communication here is that your information is getting squished in an area that it shouldn't be squished in simply by adding that, which doesn't serve any functional purpose. Neither does the black background. This black on the back of your letterhead, business card, and the inside of your envelope is a production nightmare. It costs a lot. You're asking printer to lay down pure black on the back of several thousand sheets of your stationery. And that's going to cost you. I mean, laying down black is not cheap, especially if you're laying on the entire page. And the way that it would have to produce your envelopes is those would have to be laid out flat on a big sheet and then cut and then folded and cropped. So that would definitely be a custom envelope. Okay, so I mean that's what I have. So if you would like to take a look at that a little bit closer while, as you said, you're digesting the rest of the comments. I know you're getting a lot thrown at you, Sam. I know you are, but it's okay. And you're right. It's 11-week class for a reason. Okay. A suggestion for replacement of that direct mail piece. Yeah, listen. I mean, if you don't have the piece, you're gonna have to design it. And I know that a couple of comments you said, I'll be at a complete loss if you need a whole new idea. Well, there's going to be times, and this very much mimics what is going to be your career. I mean, you go to your studio Monday morning and you're going to have stuff to do. I mean, somebody's going to say, hey, you know that identity you created for our client XYZ? I need you to redo it. And and you're not going to have an opportunity to say, but I'm at a loss. Your art director is going to say, I need it done by 3 o'clock. Please redo the identity for so-and-so. Show me what you have by noon. And being at a loss is not an option in design. Okay, literally pacing around. I didn't think my branding would catch the heat. I get it with the resume. I get that. Okay, so you lost the file. You got to design a new file or another piece from that. From that requirements sheet. Look, now a lot of students freak out at Portfolio, and it kind of sounds, last night you said you were pacing, and it kind of sounds like you're a little bit apprehensive too, but your work is very, very nice. And we got a lot to work with here. You got some solid foundational pieces. So for you to design a flyer, I think you can do it in a heartbeat. I mean, I'm looking at your work. I'm saying, I'm looking at a designer here. This should be no problem for you to redesign a mailer if you need to. Also, don't forget, if you're going to do the mailer, don't forget to do the backside too. And please, I did comment on this piece, not knowing that you didn't have it anymore and we were not going to use it. So if you have to use it, you have to use it. I get it. It's not necessarily going to be graded poorly. That's not what Portfolio is about. But if you do If you do have to use it, I would say, well, actually, I wouldn't use it. There's a lot pointing that this could be designed better, and I covered those comments in my first video. So, all right. All right, cool. So that's what I have moving forward. You do not have to. I'm not going to say, all right, you're going to lose a grade point if you a letter grade if you don't have this in by tomorrow evening. I'm not a grading Nazi, never was. I do have guidelines I have to follow based on the department and what is um, due on the due date. So yes, these assignments are due on the due dates, but your edits, no, I'm not going to hold you to say if you're not done, they're not done by Sunday, you're done. I'm just going to, no. This is an ongoing class. This is an ongoing process, and we'll treat it as such. I highly recommend you do not wait too long after a critique and before addressing the work, because you'll forget the relevance of the suggestions. That's a fact. I mean, that happens in studio all day long. So that's why we tell our designers, this is what I'd like you to do today, because I know you have 15 other things to do, but this is fresh and we need to keep it fresh. Okay, so that's what I have. If you have any questions or comments at all whatsoever, please feel free to contact me. Okay, thanks, Sam.